We're moving on to the safety of our children online. Yes, it's been democratized. Anybody can gain access to social media platforms. But when our children are on the internet, particularly on social media sites, what are they exposed to, and how are these platforms ensuring that children are also safe? Well, there's a civil society organization which has taken one of the social media platforms to court over the safety of minors, ensuring that they are protected in this digital age. And we have joining us on the show senior legal assistant or senior legal analyst, the Citizens Gavel, Sylvester Aggie. Good morning, Mr. Aggie. You're welcome to the Morning Brief.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
So I was reading that, about 14 states in the U.S. sued TikTok, the attorneys general, about 7 families in France sued TikTok. The Justice Department in the U.S. sued TikTok. You look around and you see TikTok being sued here and there. But, a lot of people love TikTok. I'm not going to mention names, even right there in the studio.
Right.
But what did you see? Because this is a bigger conversation, even beyond TikTok. Yes, this case is about TikTok, but this is a bigger conversation about the safety of our children. What are the things that you saw that were of concern to you?
Yeah, okay. Well, so in answering that question, let me kindly read a very short tweet by an ex-user. This is what he said, and that would, I think, form the basis of our conversation. His handle is Max Vezia. He posted this about 5 days ago. He said, "When you spend 5 minutes on TikTok, you will understand why birthing a female child is, while birthing a female child in this generation is a very bad risk." Now, you may be wondering why an ex-user would say this, and if you go on X, you'll find a lot of conversations around TikTok. Why this? Now, last year, we had a collaboration with Hertford Foundation where we visit schools, strategic schools, and sensitize them on their rights. Both online and offline. And in so doing, there were certain questions we asked. Are they on social media? Do they have social media handles? Do they use the social media platforms? They answered yes. And we asked them what platforms in particular. A majority of them answered TikTok. Now, that got us wondering, because this is a GS2 class, so that means that they are between the ages of, say, around 12 to, say, 14. Now, on TikTok, ordinarily, you need to be up to 18 before you ordinarily can register, right? Now, that becomes an issue, because the question is, how are these guys able to access TikTok, at that age? Now, we did some digging, and then we found that on TikTok, you don't even need to register. You don't need to sign up before you can make use of TikTok. You only need to, if you're able to type in www.tiktok.com on your browser, you are in there. You're able to consume content.
Even though TikTok will say that, well, if you're 13 years old or older, you can use TikTok, not just 18.
But here, you don't even need to be up to that age. You could use, and that becomes a problem. Now, we all know that the TikTok is actually an application where creatives show their talent. So you have something interesting you want to show to the people, you go ahead, record yourself, post, and then people watch, like, share, and comment. Basically, that's the original idea about TikTok. But what we've come to realize at the moment is that, Nigerians in particular, blow this, out of context. So you find that certain kind of challenges that go on are inappropriate. It includes having minors, actually, not even just young ladies, but having minors exposing sensitive part of their bodies in the name of challenge or dare. And that is what, has become concerning. Now, of course, several other countries have sued TikTok for several other reasons, but in the course of this conversation, you will also hear that Citizens Gavel decided to take steps against TikTok, particularly because of some of these, immoral activities that go on that platform.
Well, you said you must be 18 years and above to be able
13,
to...
actually.
13, and that's why I want to draw your attention to. When you look at the rules and regulations guiding your admittance into TikTok, what it says is here is that you must be 13 years and older to have an account. And that's quite concerning for parents who have teenagers. And I'm just wondering, if we've reflected really based on these rules as a country, as a people, on the easy access of our young people to content online. Because as adults, when you open your social media, not even TikTok, even other social media accounts, and certain things that you see alarm you. And in relation to that, I'd like to ask you what your reliefs would be that you're seeking in this suit against TikTok.
All right. So our reliefs are primarily two. First is for TikTok to have a policy in place where age is verified. Age of users are verified before they are allowed to use. Now, like you rightly said, and thanks for that correction, it's 13, actually not 18. Our concern is that, given the kind of content, that people consume on TikTok, we feel that the ages of these young persons in particular should be verified before they are allowed access to TikTok. But again, like I said, anyone at all can access TikTok at the moment, regardless of your age, by simply dialing www.tiktok.com, and you are in there. We feel it shouldn't be that way. So one of the reliefs we are seeking from the court is for the court to make a pronouncement that for users, those who would like to use the platform, they should firstly, sign up. And in the process of signing up, their ages should be verified. TikTok should be able to verify that, yes, these people are of the age that they claim to be before they are allowed access to it. That's one. Secondly, we have a concern around the live session of TikTok. So you find that people go on live session, invite young ladies again, to, like I said, expose themselves. And in so doing, TikTok does not moderate. TikTok does not monitor. So they do whatever they want to do online, and they post it for that to see. And it goes back to the issues of protecting, our young ones, because they consume some of these things. Now, the second relief we are asking from the court is for TikTok to have a real-time, monitoring mechanism. For instance, an AI tool that would immediately flag off a live session where inappropriate content or activities, are taking place. So these are primarily the two reliefs that we are, of course, among other reliefs. Yeah.
I love TikTok, but I don't like all those. I don't think I've ever gone to any of those challenges, and it's very concerning. There are two parts. You have mentioned one, the immoral part, and then the ridiculous part.
Right.
There are so many. When I'm pointed to some of the challenges, because I really don't understand those challenges. They say they want to do this challenge, that challenge. One time, I think I saw somebody running around the bush. I don't even understand all of that. So are you factoring that as well? Because the content creators themselves are saying part of the reason why they had to do ludicrous things is because TikTok is not paying content creators in Nigeria like it pays those abroad. So what they now do, they have their friends in the UK and in the US registering for them so that they can accrue as much effects to themselves, because if they do it from Nigeria, it's going to be a waste. So are you looking at the entire picture?
Okay, so for now, I think the part that really concerns us is actually the immoral aspect, right? So we're trying to protect our young ones.
Because that's part of the driver.
True, actually true. But of course, it's a step. Okay. So for speaking specifically to the suit before the court, it deals with the immoral angle where, people go online and do certain acts that we consider as inappropriate. So we are trying to check that first. And of course, the next step might be that angle that you just referenced.
Well, this is a lot of work, because it's not just TikTok. You find out that you can mention that how many social media platforms that there are new social media platforms I've never heard of, and you have thousands, if not millions of young Nigerians on it. Never heard of it, but you find it, those platforms on their device. So is this just a platform thing, or society, parenting, guardian thing? Because you realize that a lot of these young people have the access they have, or at least they have the free hand, the leeway they have, because there isn't as much monitoring on that bit. So while you're going to court to seek those reliefs as well, which should solve a lot of the problem, I imagine, but some would also tell you that, what about the parents, the guardians? Because what you find out is the children will just find another platform or just go to other websites, God forbid, and just still vent that particular thing they want to vent in that sense.
Right. So I think that the parents, they have a lot of role to play. They have a very huge role to play in this, because for some persons, they will tell you that, look, my child must attain certain age before he or she can access, a device such as a phone or a laptop and all that. It has its pros and cons. So if a child has access to a phone at a very tender age, the likelihood of they, coming across some of these platforms, very huge. And, but if, again, as a parent, you decide that, look, if my child is not up to this age, I would not allow him or her to use some of these devices. You are in a way cutting down on the possibility, of them actually coming across some of these social media platforms that are concerning to us. So, as parents, there is need for, us to ensure that we pay attention to some of the content or most of the contents that our children consume at the end of the day, because you find that some of the parents actually don't mind. Some of these TikTok challenges are done even right in their presence, and they don't, bother to caution their child and all that. And some of these challenges, they are such that it starts very little. Maybe it could just be a young lady dancing, and it graduates to something else because, of course, their parents saw them doing that and failed to caution them. So really, the parents need to do a lot in this regard.
And we can't talk enough about that. There's a proposal coming through for these social media platforms to have offices in the country as they do in other parts of the world. And there are considerations also for regulation of content creator from the Film and Video Censors Board. Now, are these proposals belated in terms of regulating the social media space? Do they carry the necessary zeal required to ensure sanity on the social media space? And do you find the intention that you are taking up as an organization, for instance, in some of these considerations?
All right. Yeah, so absolutely. So whereas I've not seen the content of some of these ongoing bills and like that, however, I would say that the intention actually covers some of the things we are particularly seeking from the court. So in respect of the case before the court, of course, we are trying to protect public morality. Right. Basically, that's what we're trying to do. And if regulating, content creation, among other things, will cope that, then absolutely.
There you go.
Right, absolutely.
Well, wish you the very best. I think it's an all-of-society approach, and I really hope that different ends will find they'll sort themselves, the platforms, yes, the governance of it, the parenting of it. But we have to thank you so much. I've been speaking with Mr. Sylvester Agi, Senior Legal Analyst at Citizens Gavel. Thank you for your time, and once again, wish you the best.
Thank you so much for having me.